We do. We get one right off the top. That's so cool. Your graveyard. Yeah, like I would love to take Thassa, but let's wipe out this field. Hello again, welcome back, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today, I'm playing with a deck I called Demon Nest, Burning-Rune Demon. This is a hefty 6/6 flying for 6 CMC. Grab 2 cards from your library of different names. One goes into your grave, the other in your hand as an ETB, which is great. And we're using Titan's Nest to reduce the cost of that. And of course, running this within a Gyruda based build. There's a lot of self-mill here today, and it is also one of our win cons. Of course, we'll break down the deck in its entirety, give you a deep dive of every individual card, the strategies, the synergies, so you can pilot it effectively and efficiently. Moving into the gameplay footage, discussing the playlines and interactions, so you have a better idea of how to operate the deck within the real world or meta environment. Of course, this will also give you a good idea whether or not you're willing to sacrifice your wildcards on the deck. Of course, if you guys find any value within the video, I encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to your friends, families, MTG playgroups, support financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, through Amazon, Great Viking Games, and into the AM. We have a 500,000 gem giveaway, free cash prize monthly tournaments on MTG Melee, Brawl, and Artisan format, 100 one-on-one live coaching sessions with myself also coming with 20 USD each, plus every single video we give $10 to Great Viking Games away. All you have to do to enter is like the video and comment while it's alive during each of our daily premieres. Thanks again for your guys' time and attention. Now let's jump right into the deck. Demon's Nest is a 60 card best of 1 standard deck, 4.2 average converted mana, 22 creatures with 14 non-creatures, sitting with a comfy 24 land. So this is as nicely balanced of a mid-range deck as you can get, and you know, it is very hefty at that. You'll see the curve just tunes itself way into 6+ drops, which is pretty cool. And there's a little bit of ramp within the deck. We're using Wolfwillow Haven, enchant land, enchanted land taps for an additional green source. We can pay 5 plus sack the Haven to create a 2/2 only on our turn. You know, not advisable, but maybe it's the tipping point or the nail in the coffin, so to say, to get you that win. We also have our Titan's Nest. This is a 4 CMC enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of the library. You may put it into your graveyard. If not, of course, you'll draw that on your draw step. You can also exile a card from your graveyard to add a colorless mana, spending that only to cast a spell that's 1 or more colors without X in its cost. You know, this is a turn 2 Wolfwillow Haven, which allows us to play the Titan's Nest on turn 3. Turn 4, that's gonna open up a 6-drop for us, which is really nice. And you know, obviously our primary goal here is Gyruda, Doom of Depths, a 6/6, and when it enters the battlefield, each player mills 4 cards and put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those milled cards into the battlefield under our control. This is great, right? This is going to help us play multiple cards, and the highest priority that we are looking for is Thassa Deep Dwelling, a 4 CMC, so Gyruda can grab it, a 6/5 with Indestructible. As long as our devotion to blue is less than 5, Thassa isn't a creature. We can easily get our devotion up, so that's quite nice, a good blocker. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under our control. This is a flicker effect, absolutely amazing when comboed with all of our ETB effects, like Gyruda. We can also pay 4 to tap another target creature, you know, helping us survive if we need, or opening up our attack lanes. So that's the main combo, right? Wolfwillow Haven into the nest, into the Gyruda. Gyruda digs out Thassa. Thassa bounces Gyruda, and now Gyruda can dig out something else. The perfect play here would be the Burning-Rune Demon, a 6/6 with flying, and whenever Burning-Rune Demon enters the battlefield, you may search your library for up to 2 cards not named Burning-Rune Demon that have different names. If you do, reveal those cards, and opponent chooses one of them. we put that card into our hand and the other goes into our graveyard, then shuffle our library. So this is really nice. If we don't want that card to go in our grave, we can choose one and then it just goes directly into our hand, you know, or we can choose two to push one card into our grave as well, which is nice for the deck, but you will have to take two cards that you want, because if you take one as a sacrifice, that you're like, oh, I'm going to take my Merfolk Secretkeeper and they can put that in the grave. No, because they're going to give you that one to your hand and you're going to lose the good cards. Though you only pick one good card if you don't want something to the grave, but if you don't mind something going to the grave, you can pick two good cards. And this will help Titan's Nest, you know, you get another card engraved to exile. But if not, there's no shame in just pulling another card into your hand. That's totally fine. Of course, you know, it is a 6/6, and the card that we want to pull into our hand could probably be a removal spell if we need. If not, you know, I love to grab Egon, God of Death, and then I play the Throne. If we want, if we have a massive graveyard, we can play Egon as well. So, you know, these are all happening on turn 4, right? So to recap, turn 2 Haven, turn 3 Nest, turn 4 Gyruda, Gyruda pulls Thassa, Thassa bounces Gyruda, Gyruda pulls Burning-Rune, Burning-Rune pulls whatever you want from the deck, whether it be, you know, another Gyruda, whether it be Egon. You could even grab your Thassa's Oracle if it's late in game for the self-mill. But we'll talk about all those cards later. The removal. You could also pull, oh, I don't know, the Great Henge. So that's why we have this in the deck. If you're unfamiliar, it does cost X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures we control. If we have Burning-Rune, it's going to cost 6 less. We'll play the Great Henge for 3 mana, and then we can tap it to add 2 green, plus gain 2 life, and whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under our control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. And that's just going to help us with the rest of the game. You know, we get life gain, we get ramp, and we get, you know, a draw engine, which is really quite cool. So there's a lot of nice routes that you can take here on turn 4, and you know, that puts you into a turn 5 Great Henge, which is great. And you know, now you've got Henge mana, you've got Titan Nest mana to utilize the rest of your deck, which there isn't a lot of. You know, let's break down some of our finishers here. We've got Kolga, the Titan Ape ×2, 7/6. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature we don't control. Whenever it attacks, destroy 1 target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. And then we can pay 2 to return target human to its owner's hand. And then Kogla gains indestructible until the end of turn, which is nice. So, you know, a little bit of a fight effect if they have a big baddie. If they have little baddies, then we have the Massacre Worm. 2 copies of this as well, a 6/5. And when Massacre Worm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponent's control get -2/-2 until the end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, that player loses 2 life, which is pretty cool. So this can clean up the field for us and deal a little bit of damage as well. So these are kind of like the different spices within the deck. They're not, you know, your first goals to get to, but you know, they're used they're used as tools. So whether you need to wipe the field or you need to wipe one creature, you know, the option's there for you. Moving on, we do have single target removal, Soul Shatter. This gets rid of all of the indestructible that we see around right now, any hexproof, anything like this. So you just get to take out their best card, which is great. And then we have the self-mill within Thassa's Oracle, 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards of our library, where X is your devotion to blue, then put one of them onto the top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. If X is greater or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So, you know, if we've self-milled to the point where we don't have a thick library, this can win us the game. What it can do, more importantly, for a very cheap mana, 2 mana, it's allowing us to scry, engineering what's on the top of our deck, which will in turn, you know, be self-milled with Gyruda and playable for free. So this is kind of a cool trick we can do, whether Gyruda's already in play, ready to be bounced by Thassa, and then we play the Oracle to kind of engineer what Gyruda would get. This works quite well as an idea. Of course, we have the Secret Keeper. Now, this kind of just lights the fire under Titan's Nest, gives you a couple cards to work with. Target player mills 4 cards for 1 mana. You know, also the self-mill with the Thassa's Oracle, I guess. 0/4 Defender can help slow down those attacking decks as well. 3 copies of Egon, God and Death. 6/6 with Death Touch, and at the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you can't, sacrifice Egon and draw a card. You know, this is just a great defender. Plus, it's got Death Touch, which is cool as well. Scythe boys, what's up, bro? Egon. Shout out to Into the AM for the sick merch. Check it out in the link below. And of course, I think I mentioned the Throne of Death, in which, you know, we mill at the beginning of our upkeep. That's really good for the nest. We can pay 3, tap the throne, exile creature card, draw a card. You know, that's good for us as well, helping us find whether it's Thassa, Terror, whatever we need. So that's the list, you guys. You got a little bit of the deck tech incorporated there as well, on the strategies and synergies, but we do it all in one. That's fine. We'll save time this way. If you do have any questions about how the deck operates, of course, don't hesitate. Leave them in the comments below, and myself and the community will do our best to help get you on the right track. Cheers. I hope you guys enjoy the deck. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel to your friends, families, MTG playgroups, support on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Amazon, Great Viking Games, Into the AM, and by downloading Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant if you're on Windows, absolutely for free. This is a must-have, you guys. All the information you'll ever need. We go first. You know, I think that's more than I can say for our entire last video. I remember being upset about that when we were filming. You know, it is a bummer when you go on the draw 4 or 5 times in a row. But not today. We are on the play, and I love it. So let's just make sure we don't brick, because that's also frustrating thing. Doesn't look like we'll flood, and as long as we can hit 4. You know, if we... No, the Wolfwillow Haven off the top isn't good. Our opponent is chillin'. So I guess we can just give up the dream and progress. Alright, we don't want to be holding on to that for too long. I've had bad luck playing it right out of the gate. Milling my next card can suck. Right, if you are gonna look for a land. I mean, these are just superstitions for me. Right? Like, it always happens to be that I mill a land. And this is alright, though. We do get that 4th. We have all of our colors. Let's get this nest in play as soon as possible. You know, it would be smart of us to take double black. I think. Ooh, as long as it's not a Fabled Passage. I'll save that for next turn when they cleave. But we're getting smashed in here, and, you know, as sad as this is, I think we should just use Extinction Event. Right? Because if they have a passage and a cleave, we lose. Sure, we could get burned as well by not waiting, but you know, there's a world in which they have lethal. Oh, it was a Fabled Passage. Woo! It's a good thing we took it. It's a good thing we took it. We still get hit with the beast, which is unpleasant, but there's worse things I've been told. And they could potentially just have lethal right away here. We can grab... No, that doesn't work because we don't have 2 green sources in play. Jewel is relatively annoying. We need an untapped land if we're making any move. So, let's get after the exile here. Taking our land is a priority, and we are taking 4 of them. Gyruda in play. Wolfwillow out. I like the worm. No, I mean, you can auto pay here, get rid of the Triome. Gyruda. Play the worm. We wipe their dude, they take 2 damage. And now we've got some blockers for our questing beasto in the form of an indestructible Thassa. So they just gave us their beast for free. Unless they've got a cleave. Oh, we should have triple blocked. No! They win the game. That's so sad. We almost had that. Didn't think of it until, like, it was too late. But you see how we kind of popped off there, right? That's not a bad showing of the deck. I think that there's a lot of hope here. I think Throne of Death really helps the deck quite a bit. And Rune Demon as well. Even though we didn't see it in that match, we will. We will. Alright, going first. The hand is kind of awkward. We don't want Massacre Worm really in opening hand ever. We'll start with the passage, get it out of the way. Deep breaths. It could be worse. Keep it. Okay. Let's take a swamp. I guess both of these can be islands. If we could pick up Titan's Nest, that'd be awesome. Right off the top. 1 Titan's Nest. Coming at ya. The heart of the cards is the heart of the cards. Sometimes you just have to ask for what you want to see if you'll receive it. More likely than not, you'll get it, right? Skinny shall receive. Oh, don't passage me. Do not Fabled Passage me. Oh. Asking for what you don't want for. Asking for what you don't want also though, so be careful on that. Oh well. Double-edged sword, it really, really is. Graveyard. We don't have the triple black skis. So we could make Scrylands more relevant. Maybe we'll just pick one off the top, right? Organically with our Egon. We do, we get one right off the top. That's so cool. Your graveyard. Yeah, like I would love to take Thassa, but let's wipe out this field. We deal 6 damage, so this is near flawless victory for us. That was nice. A couple dead cards in hand, but by golly, I think we won it. Right? Let's see how it plays out. They're gonna double down on Gyruda, which is great for us because, you know, reasons. Graveyard. Let's attack for a bunch, and then you know what it is. Getting rid of our land, that's a priority with the nest. And then we mill. We get a Thassa there, and that's gonna be a good game. Right? Whoa. So, you know, this is what happens when it works out a little bit better. for us. When we do hit the Wolfwillow, then we do hit the Titan's Nest into Gyruda. So, you know, those are your first 3 plays that you want ideally. To recap again, Wolfwillow, Titan's Nest, Gyruda, and then just, you know, whether you're getting a Thassa through Gyruda, you know, or Pogla, or any of the other good things we have, it should really work out for you. We get to go first, and we have a good hand. We don't have Gyruda though, and that was the key component to our success last match. Was turn 2 Haven, turn 3 Nest, turn 4 Gyruda. So let's see if we can get lucky with a top deck of it. I mean, I'm still happy with turn 4 event. Okay, so we need a green source here. 1 forest coming at ya. So we're still in the money. We're on the play too, which is like unbelievable. Luminarch Aspirants, there is no other way. Oh, another speaker. Do they play 3 of a kind? No, Selfless Savior. That's cool. That's cool. Unfortunately, we have to do blue source here. Did we do it? Nah. We'll let them play a few more creatures, right? We'll let them play a few more creatures. Hopefully they're all 1 drops and 3 drops. That would be the coolest thing. You know, even Amal of the Skyclaves could swing in on us, right? Luminarch Aspirant, that's annoying. It's not what we wanted. But, alas, we shall deal with it. Graveyard. Ooh. So that doesn't matter. And I think we might still Soul Shatter this if it becomes a problem. Of course, this is instant speed, so we can just wait. Let's hold off. And, you know, we'll get away with it. The Cosmos Elixir is cool, I'll admit. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can do it. We'll still just clear the aspirant here. They do get the draw through this Cosmos Elixir, and that's really good. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can keep it. Boom. Now this is what's really fun, is Burning-Rune Demon. I don't think a lot of people have played with extensively, but it's good. It's real good. And now we take a Thassa, and we take a Gyruda, and you know, both of these are not good scenarios because Thassa can bounce Burning-Rune Demon, and it just repeats the process, right? So they actually give us Gyruda, which is exactly what we want. Luminarch Aspirant, not worried about it. Al said, not worried about it. Drawing of those cards, worried about it. Oh. Library, we'll keep it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we need 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's Let's just go right for the biscuit. We'll play Thassa later. We could have... Oh no, we didn't have enough black. We're looking for a worm out here, I think, right? Yeah. Oh, mine's revved up. Looking for a worm, not a cat. We don't get anything. Just a mill. Let's take them away from, you know, the drawing of cards, because that's ultra annoying. And then, you know, Thassa, Burning-Rune Demon, it's gonna clear up some wins here. And, you know, we are turning the deck around here, 50%. Let's try a couple more matches. Here goes nuts! Going first with an absolute bonkers hand. I mean, 5 drops, 6 drops on 3 land. We have no early game interaction. Let's keep it. This is the worst keep of my entire life. But there's land there, right? So we may as well go for it. Try our best. I put stickers on Maya's cat wheel from Into the AM because they gave me a bunch of stickers. And I put a couple of them on the cat wheel. A bunch on my computer as well. It's our turn. Whoops. She loves it. She tries to rip them off. She goes after her. Yeah, yeah. Get him, Maya. This doesn't belong here. This is new. She rides that cat wheel into the AM. She'd be a good, you know, sponsor for them. Anyways, I think we're playing against big boy rogues, so we definitely need a wipe as soon as possible. Give me that extinction event, baby. Oh, paying life. 2 enforcers? Why would they pay life for that unless they have 3 of a kind? They're milling us, which is great news for our nest. They get a worm though, which is sad. I'll be honest. That makes me a little bit upset, but it's all in a day's work, right? The deck still works great. Wow. Nice. They've milled 2 events. What? Full house. So they hit us for 9, 10, 11 at the very least. Wow. No extinction event here. It would win us the game if we had it, but unfortunately someone milled it. Unfortunately someone milled it. So we need to get lucky with a worm off the top. Right? You know, we do have Gyruda to try to make it work. Down to 1 life here. Oh gosh. Library. We have to get ultra lucky. Land out. Come on, worm. No, we don't get anything. Rankle from them. And we whiffed. Game. That's pretty crazy. We didn't get our extinction event, sadly. Oof! Our opponent is on the play. We are on the draw. Triome, Island, Haven. Oh, you're getting that worm in hand again. Annoying. That last round was quick. We've gone aggroed out a few times. And we're even running, you know, our extinction events, so it's awkward when it's happening to us like that. There's no counter here. They could have a turn 4 Binding of the Old Gods to kill our Haven. But I would bet on them taking something much more dear to us than that. Like, how's there not counter magic here? It just has to be counter magic, right? There's no way it's not a counter spell. Negate, easy. Walrus Disruption, also easy. Okay, that's a good start for them. We had to go for it though, right? You can't just, you know, say there has to be a counter spell here and then not do it. This should be countered as well, but we'll see. They're thinking about it. I think that we should probably incorporate more Scrylands into the deck. Or, big brain play, the World Tree. We need to put a couple copies of the World Tree in deck, right? And then at 6, all of our mana is all colors. And that's gonna kind of clear up the Massacre Worm, the Titan Ape heavy mana requirements. Right, because they each require 3. Which is not great. Not the worst, though. So if this is a Binding of the Old Gods, I think we can probably just pack it up here. And say, good job, Yorion. Keep doing you. Never change. Maybe they don't have it, though. Yeah, it seems they don't. Or they do, and they just want to make sure that they're able to be bouncing into Yorion. Forever and ever. But, no counter magic up. Nest in play. Could be a thing. Could be a thing. 2 engrave. Worm is nowhere near getting played. There's no black mana. All we have is the Triome, so that's disgusting. And yeah, I think we're gonna definitely be adding some Scrylands to the deck. Binding takes the nest. Sure. So that's the second Titan's Nest they've dealt with. We mill Thassa, heartbreaking. Let's take a draw. We need a swamp. There it is. Finally. And they're just gonna bounce this, right? That's their whole big fun plan. Taking a land. We will kill their Yorion here, though. Alright, let's just snag that for fun. I'm just imagining an ultimatum, though, immediately, so that's not good either. We have another throne. Let's take the draw. Okay. So Worm is active. Already, I guess, with the 2 Triomes now. Plus the Swamp, but what we really need is Thassa. What we really need is Gyruda. Burning-Rune wouldn't be the worst either. Another binding. Wow. That's not good. Those are probably Alrund's Epiphany. So the throne's been really helping us. But, you know, they could just start double turning us. Or, yummy! We have an extinction event for that. That mill really hurt. We hit even. Kraken goes. This could be our chance. We don't have, like, all of our stuff taps, though. Let's just keep drawing. Maybe these will fizzle out. If these are Alrund's Epiphany, GG's. I mean, we could worm them eventually. Potentially, if there's no counter magic on the back end of them. Which they have mana for. Could be Behold the Multiverse as well. But that's also less than ideal. Main phase Omen. They've no... well, they've got one creature, I guess. Another Omen. Nice. Really cool stuff. Like, how? How is this happening to us tonight? People are just dropping 3 of a kind all over the place. It must be counter magic. If they're not using all-round or something. Let's try to pull it. Really? We have 1 Gyruda left. Thassa's there with 2. You know, I just want this sea god to self-sacrifice itself. Screw it, let's go for it. Screw it, let's go for it, right? We can do it! Because if it's a counterspell, we have to address it eventually. We can't just, like, dilly-dally around the problem. We don't get anything. We mill their ultimatum, so we know what we're dealing with. Gross. Gross, 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 gross. Oh, we should have left it in our hand. I can't believe we didn't. We should have left it in our hand. And then they could have played all these Alrund's Epiphany. And then we could have just Massacre Wurm. But now we're going to get hit for 8. Probably, you know, closer to 16 or would be 18 at that point. Yeah. They didn't do it earlier on, so I didn't think it was it. I thought, well, it must be something else, right? They're holding on to counter magic or something like this. Let's get out of here. Yeah. That one hurt. Alright, so this is one of those decks that it should say 100% win rate. HGG wins every single game he's ever played with this deck, and it would get 1 million views. But we got stomped a little bit here and there, but we also popped off. And now that's really all I'm looking to do, is to build original decks and have them pop off once for you guys to show you that it is possible. you know, when you make so many new decks every month, not every single one of them can be the most competitive, because at a certain point, you know, I'm making 60 decks every month, and you know, how will they always all be inundative and, you know, beating the last? And you know, in a advanced game of rock paper scissors, it isn't that, because certain things beat other things, and those other things beat different things, and those different things beat the original thing, right? And then you start like multiplying and cubing this and stuff, right? So that's fine. I don't mind it. I think the deck's great. The fact that you can Wolfwillow turn 2, Titan's Nest turn 3, Gyruda turn 4 into Thassa, rebounce Gyruda, Burning-Rune, grab the Great Henge on turn 4, play Henge turn 5, and do whatever you want for the rest of the game, it would appear. You know, that's the deck that I really like. It works. It's not a combo deck. It's a really combo-y mid-range deck. You know, we've seen those combo decks with Gyruda in the past where, you know, you're copying it and you have just an unlimited mill that you try to do in one turn, but you know, that's not really working out for us right now, but this definitely is. So if you guys like decks like this and you're looking forward to seeing more cool ideas, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all again for your time and attention, your financial support, whatever it happens to be. Don't miss out on our giveaways, contests, all that jazz. Join the Discord. We're even doing weekly movie nights within that Discord, which is pretty cool. So Starlink is here and we're ready to build us an empire. Awkward. Quit being so cringe, kid. All right, cheers. Have a magical day, you guys. Of course, you know, this one's on me. We'll see you soon in the next.